Here's what's cooking on the day. Sports Stove, a local hour. It's the season finale, wrapping up the school year, wrapping up the athletic season. We've got three great guests coming on tonight. EKU Volleyball's Johnna Bazzani, EKU Men's Basketball, A.W. Hamilton, EKU Baseball's Walt Jones. That's what's cooking on the day. Sports Stove, local hour.
McKinney looks, steps into pocket, throws, open receiver, touchdown! Colonels, we're not done yet!
Our identity is we're going to press for 40 minutes, we're going to play up-tempo, we're going to play with unbelievable passion, and then our brand is the most exciting 40 minutes in sports.
Welcome in to an all-new edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour presented by Righteous Felon Jerky, IPM Pest and Termite, and All Around Roofing. It's a great night to discuss all that's gone on this year and to begin looking ahead into next year as well. I'm your host, Vince Stover, joined as I am almost every local hour by the one and only Ryan Jackson. Ryan, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Enjoying our little break off from football right now. So, yeah, just enjoying time.
You had your graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Got to wear the nice cap and gown as well. Of course, you still have some schooling left, but now you're a grown adult officially, even though you're already there anyhow. But how does it feel to be done with the undergrad stuff?
Full graduation. It was honestly a lot cooler than I thought it was going to be. You walk in and all the people are there. It's kind of like going into a football game. It was actually really cool. And it was good that I got to stand and hang out with my friends the whole time because they definitely made it better. And walking across the stage was so real because getting the diploma and shaking the president's hand is something everybody dreams to do, especially at the highest level, because I worked really hard to get that degree, and I'm happy that I earned it and got it. And I'm happy that my family got to be there to see it. So, yeah, it was a great moment.
I love it. One of your teammates had a nice little dance to go on with the graduation as well.
Yeah.
So see, now where I went to school was this very buttoned up, tight conservative Bible college. And so it was, you walk across, shake the hand, and get off the platform. So that being said, it looked like a lot of fun. And again, a lot of not just your football friends, but other friends as well graduating. And congrats, of course, to everybody there. And Ryan, you're officially famous now. Your face is on a billboard. Saw the picture on social media today going up. How much is your mom asking you for pictures of these billboards?
Yeah, mom, dad, both asking me where it is. I teleported there and took the picture myself. It's almost like I know exactly where it is. But no, it's exciting because when I get to send those photos back to them, I get all the hype and you deserve it and this is awesome, and it's awesome, and it's a bubbly feeling when you get to show off to your parents like that their son's on a billboard, and it's a really cool moment.
Now, are they putting new pictures up on the stadium?
I actually don't know. I don't know.
I didn't know who would know that right now. Now there is an interim AD. For a while, we didn't know who was running things. But we do have somebody now. That's all set, of course. They're still looking for the official hire at the athletic director position. But yeah, I actually drove. We were at the baseball game Thursday night, and I was looking at the football stadium. I thought, I wonder if they're going to put new pictures up over there. I don't know if they are or not. But lots of stuff going up. Of course, I talked with Raymond White Thursday night as well. He's going to join us at some point this summer on the show to talk about season tickets and different things about the university as well. He's getting excited about football season and everything going up there. Ticket sales were up. I think he said about 30% this year. So that's pretty awesome. Also, and good times there as well. Football is right now in break. You guys start back up in June, correct?
We'll actually start workouts towards, start of June. Yeah, basically June, yeah.
I saw one new player added to the roster this week, a linebacker. Do you expect there to be many more new faces that come in this summer?
I don't know how many new faces we got. I'm not really big in who we recruit or who we bring in, but I would expect to still see maybe a couple new faces. I would hope to anyway. This is always the most exciting part for me because we bring new people in, some people leave, and we get to see all new type of skill sets, people that come from all different types of backgrounds. all different coaching staffs, how they did stuff there. So this is always the most exciting time for me. So I hope we get as many new faces as we can so we can build an even more like big team. Like we're already getting more people from a variety of different places that we never had. Like first time we've had a kid from Detroit on the team this year. So this is a good little melting pot of a team right now. So I hope we get to more faces.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what the summer looks like because I know there's been a little bit of turnaround in the staff as well. Even Thomas recently got a great opportunity at Nebraska and took off there. But there's going to be some new faces for sure. And everything kind of now, once you guys get back into it this summer, then everything is just looking ahead and all looking forward to what the start of the season is going to look like. And we'll start talking about that once we get into the summer. We'll have our position previews again throughout the summer. We'll talk about the schedule and break that down as well as we get into the summer. So I know Coach Wells was on the last episode that we had and was a lot of fun to talk to you. Always is, of course, but got a lot of comments on just the conversation with Coach Wells last time and giving us some information about the upcoming team as well. All right, Ryan, man, we got a full schedule tonight. Lots of guests coming on, looking ahead again to next year, a little bit of recapping from this year, but mostly looking ahead to what's ahead next year. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a quick break and hear from our sponsor, Righteous Felon Jerky. And when we come back, we're going to get into the EKU volleyball conversation with head coach Johnna Bazzani. But first, a word from Righteous Felon.
Say hello to America's most wanted craft beef jerky. Over 15 flavors with all kinds of character. The #1 jerky gift box and all natural black Angus quality made right here in the U.S. of A. Taste the flavor revolution at righteousfelon.com. Use the promo code STOVE15 at checkout. That's righteousfelon.com. Promo code STOVE15 at checkout.
All right, welcome back into the Sports Stove Local Hour presented by Righteous Felon Jerky. We're going to bring on our first guest of the evening. She is the ASUN Coach of the Year, Volleyball Magazine's college coaching hot list member, and more importantly, she's our coach, Coach Johnna Bazzani. Hey, Coach, how you doing?
Good. How are you, Vince?
Doing awesome. Thanks for spending some time with us tonight. Are you getting any downtime right now?
This is the downtime. May is kind of our down period. Obviously, with the transfer portal window, ours was in the first 2 weeks of May, but luckily I've retained everybody, so I haven't had to bring in any transfers. So this is kind of our downtime. And then we've got camps kind of rolling in June and July, and then the girls report back, and then we're back at it.
Now, have you been giving your husband or any of your family a hard time about the fact that now they're around the Coach of the Year on the coaching hot list? You know, all these accolades that came pouring in for you this year.
No. They deserve the award more than I do because of how much they support me throughout the season. My husband just watching 2 little boys, a 1-year-old and a 3-year-old throughout the year while I'm traveling. So he's our Coach of the Year husband, I guess I would say. But no, they just enjoy it and they're so happy for me. So it's been a great year.
Yeah, this year 21-9, first national postseason appearance since 2004 for the program. Obviously, you know, you always want more, but how happy are you with how the season ended up for you guys?
I'm very happy. I think the bounce back from the season prior, and I think the one thing is I knew we were a good volleyball team the previous year, but we just didn't have the experience. We didn't have that experience of a mindset to make it to that postseason play, make it to the conference tournament, and also just be able to compete with the top teams in the league. And this year, the team was ready. They were prepared. They trained hard over summer and in the off season, and so. It was just a great year. Obviously, now we need to be experienced enough to win a game in the conference tournament. And when those opportunities come about and playing in like an NIT or an IVC for volleyball, it's just something that they've got to enjoy and understand that this is a great opportunity, whether it's the NCAA tournament or not, that you're never going to have this opportunity again sometimes. And so to make the most of it and to just go out there and compete and, you know, to get to play a team like Clemson, in that tournament was kind of cool for us just to play a Power 5 school that we've never seen in the non-conference. And so seeing how we match up well against them, I do think our bodies were tired and it was a long year, but I do think it's something that we have to look forward to, and I think we're going to have the experience and an even better mentality coming into next fall.
Coach Hamilton said something last year coming into the year about his team. They played in that CIT tournament and how big of a boost that was for them to understand that kind of that postseason pressure and get an opportunity at that level, in that kind of pressure packed level as well. So with not having a whole lot of turnover this year, other than your graduating class and your incoming freshmen, like that experience that they had this year in this postseason play, how much do you think that's going to carry over and mature them coming into this season?
I think for sure, because I mean, we played in December, and so volleyball, that's the end of the year, is when you get to play volleyball in December, that's a privilege. And so having that class and the returners have that experience is okay. Now they're prepped and ready, and they can prepare the incoming freshmen and anybody that's new that's coming in of like, hey, we want to play, we want to get through it. Yeah, we might not enjoy all of Thanksgiving break that everybody else gets to, but being able to play as long as we can is the main goal.
Ryan, you know that feeling, right? It's like if you're home at Thanksgiving, that means that kind of stinks to someone.
Yeah, that's not always good.
Yeah.
Ryan, what do you got for Coach Bazzani?
Coach, I really wanted to ask, like, with all the construction going around, are you excited for the new basketball, or are you excited for the new gym?
I'm very excited for the new gym. I mean, I swear after spring break, it was like, get all your stuff out. And they started getting going, which was exciting for us. Being able to play, not being able to play in there next year, obviously is unfortunate. But I do think we do have an advantage of playing in OSTC just because we've been practicing over there. We hosted a spring tournament in there this past spring, and it was a very intimate environment. And there's a bunch of people, and I think we could use it to our advantage. But I think what we have to look forward to comes like season of 2025 is going to be huge, because I think hopefully it should be fully finished by then. And so being able to have our turn in the fall and opening it up when it's all said and done is going to be very important and just very exciting.
I was wondering about that. You guys are playing in the Olympic Sports Training Center next season. And you played what, three matches or so, something like that this spring. Was that planned all along, or is that something that was thrown together to get some experience in the building and game time?
The year previous, we hosted a spring tournament, so we always will host one, and that's kind of like our practice facility in the spring because basketball is going. And so it was also just a good test. We had more teams this year than we did the year prior, and so it was kind of a good test to see what it would be like with a big crowd. And it was pretty rowdy. It was very cool. I will have to say, obviously we were going on two courts at the same time, but when you have a main court and being able to have the fans like so close and engaging, my players were super excited because you just never know, you know what I mean? Like you never know what to expect. You never know what you're going to get. But once my players were able to like compete in there and see a fan like experience, they came up to me and they're like, Coach, this is going to be awesome. Like it's going to be very cool. And, yeah, it's probably going to be a little bit more of an intimate crowd just for what the building allows. But I do think with us having a successful season, I think our fan base has grown, but I do think that that's going to just make it look like it's more packed. You know what I mean? Right. Having a packed facility and having a packed arena, so to speak, will be fun for us. And hopefully that can just help boost our motivation and our momentum just throughout the fall. So I think our girls are excited. I'm excited just to kind of see what it's going to be like. But yeah, the anticipation of what alumni is going to be is exciting to see how it comes together.
Sure. Yeah, for sure. I remember Matt Roan, he was talking about back when they originally announced the plans to renovate and things like that. That was exactly kind of his thought behind it too, was the intimacy of that building. Yes, it's going to be different, but there can be some positives that pull out, I think, with it as well. And yeah, you imagine, I'm trying to imagine when you got fans sitting up kind of the way they are and alumni, and now being right there a lot closer on the court. And you're going to hear everything probably a lot louder than you would in the large arena.
Oh yeah. And that's important for the players. I mean, I would say that, and I'm sure when Ray ever comes on and talks about our ticket sales, but like they went up this year, and our fans, that we have had more fans than we ever had this past fall than I could remember. And so in alumni how it is now, you couldn't really tell because they're all spread out. And so
Mhm.
being able in this new arena to have it more intimate and have it sectionalized where, okay, you look like you have a packed crowd and they're right there behind our girls when they're about to serve or they're screaming at the opponents about to serve. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they're in getting rowdy and in their ear. So I think it's going to be a cool concept and a cool environment just to bring everybody closer to the floor level.
Now, I know they announced the ASUN schedule, I think this week.
Mhm.
Do you have your non-conference stuff already set as well?
Yes, we do.
Okay.
We have a little bit of a tougher non-conference just to prepare us. I think last year scheduling wise, just I scheduled pretty good for us to see. Okay, gonna get some wins, some decent matchups to see where we're at. This year, we're going to have a little bit more experience and some more tougher competition just to prepare us for non-con or for our conference play. So we're going to go to Boston College the first weekend, and we'll face them, Iona, and Texas Tech. So that'll be kind of a big weekend. And then we'll host. So we are going to be able to still host our GPI tournament at home. So we'll host Moorhead, Radford, and Youngstown State. So that'll be a good tournament. And then we go to Central Michigan, and then we go to Ohio University, and then we play Marshall midweek away. So a little bit of a tougher schedule, but I think it's going to be good for our team because we need to play tougher competition. One, to get our RPI up, and two, to be able to beat the Lipscombs and the Florida Gulf Coast and the teams that are in the top of our league. We proved we can do it last year, and so being able to, we open up with Lipscomb for our first conference game at home, and so being able to play a tough team prior to that weekend is going to be good for us.
What do we expect from the roster? I know, like you said, you've got a good amount coming back, obviously, other than the girls that graduated. So you got some girls that we recognize, names that we saw in the mid-season awards as well as postseason awards and things like that too. Who are you hoping and waiting to see kind of step up this year, maybe to fill in for someone that you lost last year?
Well, obviously retaining Sarah Mitchell and Josie Schmittendorf for their fifth year is huge for us. I think Emily Hill, we lost Chloe Mason, who is our leading quarterback, so you say. And so Emily Hill now step up into that offensive role as our setter, kind of to come in, and she's now got a year of confidence, this past off season, working solo and trying to run the offense. And so looking for her to step up a little bit. Carson and AG, those two as a tandem, just every single year they're elevating their level of play. So for them as now juniors to being able to take more of a heavier load offensively for the team is kind of what I'm looking for. Josie and Sarah, they continue to produce, and they're going to continue to produce as fifth years. For them, it's just going to be consistency and to maintain. But I think big thing is for Emily Hill to kind of come into her own this fall as our starting setter and to come in and kind of run the show. And so we've got 5 freshmen coming in, and I do have a feeling that some of them are going to be seeing the floor early on. And so it's going to be very competitive this year, which is good. And it's always good to have freshmen that you can mold for the next 4 years and kind of continue to build. But besides that, and I think also too, like Cambry Lucas and Maddie Tolzman on our outsides, like one of those two need to step up too and can have that consistent play. They both got equal playing time in the fall. And so I'm excited to see when they come back of who stayed in shape and who's ready to get after it and compete. Because I think that both of those two and Sarah can do a really good job on the pin for us. And it's just, they're all going to be another year older. And so having that experience, kind of like you said, with postseason play and how we finished the conference last year, seeing how they just kind of come in and ready to go. But I'm excited.
I'm curious. I don't know that this would have come up or not, but AG's brother has moved to the area.
Yes.
And I don't know, does that affect anything at all I'm just trying to think through, having family close by now, and maybe that's an extra encouragement, or it could also be a distraction because he's going to be kind of busy in the fall as well. But I don't know. Does that play any role as even just as a coach and encouraging people as they continue to grow and things like that?
I do think it's exciting. It's everyone will come and talk to me about it. And I think it's been exciting for her just to have someone close to home be here, and her parents are now up a lot. She actually has a sister, though, who's next fall going to Alabama for softball. So I know her parents are going to be all over the place, but I do think it's fun. And I know she sees her brother every Sunday and they go to church together. up in Lexington. And so being able to have that for her and that support is kind of what drives her. And so I do think in the fall, it's going to even just motivate her even more just to have her brother here and have her brother going through season as well. And they're so close by. Maybe he'll make an appearance. You never know.
Yeah. Or maybe she'll make an appearance up there.
Exactly.
Too. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. We're AG people, not Greg people.
Yeah.
Ryan, anything else for Coach?
No, I'm good.
Coach, you got some volleyball camps coming up this summer.
Yes.
You want to tell us a little bit about those and when they are?
Yes. So we have volleyball camps coming up this summer. We have the week of the 10th, we have Little Colonels Camp for our little ones, and then also some just positional clinics. And then come July, same week, the week of the 15th, we have some positional clinics in our elite camp and on our all skills. So June and July, we have a full week of camp each month. And so we've already had good turnouts coming online and good signups. So they're going to get packed very quick. But it's going to be a fun time for camp. So hopefully all of you guys can bring your little ones out there for Little Colonels. That's our first kind of camp coming up. And then if not, we'd love to see everybody out at our positional clinics and our all skills or elite camp, because our players will be back to be able to help, get to meet them and interact with them.
Awesome. And there's more information about that on the EKU Sports website, as well as on the EKU Volleyball social media pages as well. Coach, we're excited for obviously how things turned out this past season. Looking forward to what's ahead this year as well for you and the team. And having familiar faces is always a good thing, I think, just for the community to be able to know these girls a little bit and come in and support them is always fun as well. So very good. Good luck. Hopefully you continue to get some rest still the rest of the way through here this spring and into the summer, as things will pick up, of course, very, very quickly as well. But Coach, we always appreciate your time and thank you again for coming on tonight.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
You're welcome. Coach Johnna Bazzani, EKU volleyball coach. All right, Ryan, we're going to take another break. When we come back, we're talking men's basketball with Coach A.W. Hamilton. First, a word from IPM Pest and Termite.
With over 20 years of experience, Matt Schaefer and the good folks at locally owned IPM Pest and Termite provides pest control service for all of Central Kentucky's pest control needs. Whether you have a current pest control problem or want to prevent infestation from ever entering your home, IPM Pest and Termite offers maintenance programs that will help keep pests out of your home and provide peace of mind. So for dependable, reliable services that you can count on, get in touch with our good friend Matt Schaefer at IPM Pest and Termite today at myipm.com. That's myipm.com.
Welcome back into the Sports Stove Local Hour with Vince and Ryan, and we're on to guest number 2 of the evening. He is the men's basketball coach at EKU, the one and only A.W. Hamilton. Hey, Coach, how you doing, man?
Hey, guys. How you guys doing?
Oh, living the dream. We just talked with Coach Bazzani, and she's got all these returning people for next year. You experienced that this past year. This year's going to be a little different. Almost a whole new team for you coming in this year. You do have 5-6 guys coming back, of course, and some guy named Tay. But overall, how are you enjoying this kind of, a little different from the last couple of years?
It's the new landscape in college basketball, but really what hurt us the most, Vince, is, seniors. We lost a lot of seniors, and you talk about Michael and Cozy and Colin and John, and then for Tay to come back for his last year, he graduated too and walked on senior night. But, I love the guys we got coming back, and somebody called me today, from a Power 5 school, and he said, I was looking at your roster. You guys got 4 guys coming back. That's crazy. He said, that's a ton of guys. I'm like, what? It's just, basketball, and it's changed so much. But, you look at the guys coming back, and, Turner Buttrey is I'm so proud of Turner. He's emerging as a great leader for us. And he had an incredible spring, and, he lives in the gym. He's tough as nails. And Jackson Holt is a guy that people really hadn't had a chance to really see yet. He hurt his knee last year. We redshirted him. He's put on 15 pounds of muscle. He looks like a different guy. And then obviously Tay Blanton is, he's going to go down as one of the greatest colonels of all time. And then I thought Vince and Ryan, I thought Mont had flashes of just really breaking out for us last year. And he kind of got caught behind Cozy. And, we all know what Cozy did. I mean, part of Cozy's plan was like to get into the best shape of your life. And he did that, and he exploded and did something that only one other player in school history's done. He was player of the year in the league. So, but I absolutely love the group we got coming in.
Yeah. And you mentioned Montavious Merrick. He came in late last year. How much more do you think is it going to help him to be all the way through the whole offseason program and all that kind of stuff too?
It's already shown just by going through the spring process, going through the player development stuff, being in the weight room more with John Mike. He got here in the fall, so he missed last spring, he missed last summer. So now he's had the spring, he's going to have the summer. He's a mature kid. So he's gotten a lot stronger and has played a lot more physical in the spring. So it's really going to help Mont.
Yeah. Now, of course, the thing that gets a lot of people's attention is when they see anything over 7 foot. You sign a 7-footer, which is awesome. But what I noticed is length, a whole lot of length on this group that you're bringing in between 6'7", 6'8", 6'6", a bunch of guys, 6'9", even in that range there as well. When you went into this offseason, were you looking for length, or were you looking for just basically what you're usually looking for, athleticism, grit, heart, all that good stuff?
No, that's the same stuff we always look for. That's the DNA of an EKU basketball player. They got to be competitive. They got to be coachable. They obviously got to be talented. They got to love. They got to love to play, and they got to have great character and be willing to make unbelievable choices every single day that impact winning. And then what we wanted to do, we've been kind of one of the most athletic, if not the most athletic team in the league the last couple years. So we wanted to continue to bring in length. I mean, you got to replace John and Michael. Those guys had great size. Cozy had great length. So we got 9 guys on our roster above 6'6".
And that's exciting. I can promise you that. I'm looking for anybody over 6 foot right now for my high school team. So, so I would be ecstatic with anything over that. I got more, but Ryan, what do you got for Coach Hamilton?
Hey, Coach, as a coach, like, I understand when transfers come in, it turns into like a big melting pot of a team and a lot of cultures and a lot of different playing styles. How do you get them all to like come in under one or like under your system? I'm interested.
Yeah, we're very straightforward, Ryan, when we recruit these guys, and we tell them what they're going to come into. I mean, we have a standard here that we want to win a championship and compete for the championship. We've had great success, and we get guys in here that want to win. That winning a championship is important. Representing Eastern Kentucky is important. So they know what they're getting into. They know the commitment that they're going to have to make. They know the sacrifice they're going to have to make. And, we talk about being invested, invested into the program, to the university, and to Madison County. It's so important. And, we do a lot of different stuff, and I make them all learn the fight song. And, we do a historic tour of our campus. I want them to feel a sense of pride in Eastern Kentucky. And, these guys have done a phenomenal job in the past, and we've had great culture, and that will continue. And it's the way we recruit and evaluate. We got to get the right people. It might not be always the best player, but it's got to be the best player for Eastern Kentucky into our program and what we're trying to do. And, we want to make another run at the ASUN. We won the first regular season championship in 45 years. And we want it because, our backs are against the wall. We're 4-9 in the non-conference, and these guys, they never wavered at all. They stayed the course and they stayed on track with the plan. And they had a magical run in conference play. So, any great team has got to handle adversity. That's what great teams are defined by. When your back's against the wall, how you going to come out of that situation? And, we got to continue to get the right guys that understand that. And, Ryan, this is tough. College athletics is tough. 9% of the teams in the country win a regular season championship, only 9%, and we got to stay, in that 9% competing for a championship every year.
With that culture building and them buying into it and all that kind of stuff, the past couple of years, you've had guys that were vocal leaders on your team, the Morenos, Rob. I mean, you got all these guys, Cooper. This year, you got Devontae, who's been around the program. He's not a super vocal leader. Are you encouraging him to be more vocal in this season, or are you still just kind of letting him do his thing and seeing who steps up in that role?
That's the big thing that we've challenged Tay with, Vince, is becoming that vocal leader, that day in, day out leader, on and off the floor. Because nobody works like Tay Blanton. You can put him and Turner Buttrey in the class of their own as far as working and how much they put into it. And, that's Tay's next big jump, and Tay, he's special. He can do so many things on the court. He's got great size. He's got an unbelievable basketball IQ. He's a great passer. He can post up. He's got a great mid-range game. We're going to expand him a little bit farther to the three-point line. But the biggest thing with Tay, it's not the things on the floor. It's the things off the floor that he's got to be better at this year. And he knows that's what makes him so great and unique. He's such an aware young person. And Turner Buttrey, Vince, I'm telling you, he has taken such a big jump, and he's got so much confidence, and you get confidence by the work that you put in. And he's been on 2 really good basketball teams and been a rotation guy, and we couldn't have had the success that we've had without Turner Buttrey. So I think he takes another big jump and becomes more of a vocal leader.
Yeah, and he'll be a junior, 3rd year in as well, which helps. I know some guys, even as freshmen, maybe they are vocal, but sometimes it's not always taken because they are freshmen. But he's been around now for a little bit as well. Of the new guys coming in, I know you're not going to just pick one, but you got guys that are coming through, guys with experience. DJ comes in, been around the block a little bit, and you got other guys too. So what are you excited about with the new guys coming through? That you're going to say, man, you guys are going to see this right off the bat?
I really believe that we got a chance to be, a great defensive team. Now, in the last 2 years, we've been phenomenal on the defensive end. Last year, we were number 1 in the league in field goal percentage defense. The year before that, we were number 2. And, Kozar, when you got the nation's leading shot blocker, that helps. He cleans up a lot of mistakes. But this year's team, with the length and the size and the athletic ability, even at the guard spot, when you talk about George Kimball, who's a dynamic guard, he's, freshman of the year in the D2 conference in Florida. That is a great league. You talk about Jordan Crawford, who's, been a rotation guy. He was a rotation guy for Charleston, who was one of the best mid-major teams in the country. Those guys, that they give us more depth and toughness, and, they're winners in the backcourt. I think they could be great on the defensive end. And, then you look at Myar Wall, who's a, 4-star recruit out of high school. He's a top 100 player, and he goes to a really good program and kind of was just fighting to be in the rotation. But, his time would have came there. And then I think Cy, we stole Cy. I think we'll all be talking about Cy next year and be like, how the heck did you get him? I think he's going to make that type of impact. So here's the cool thing about him. So he really explodes on the circuit as a junior going into his senior year. So he graduates early. Georgia Tech sees him. He graduates early. He enrolls, as basically a senior in high school, but he's had enough credits. Plays in the ACC, trying to fight and find minutes, but he's so young. He was so young. So then he goes to the Eastern Michigan, and, he's, played a lot for them, but he's only 19 years old. The kid's only 19. So his best basketball is way ahead of him. And, I thought, getting DJ, we get a veteran player who's a very disciplined young man, and he wants to win. That was the biggest thing in all these recruiting visits is how bad do you want to win? Yeah. And, I don't want to hear the catchphrases and all that. I really want to know, how bad do you want to win? Because I want to win really, really bad. Yeah. And, it just, so I just think, I thought we got a great mix. And, you talk about Micah Davis, who we signed early. I know we've already talked about Micah. He was a finalist for Mr. Basketball in Indiana. He broke about every school record that you could break at his high school. And then, I thought Jaden Harris, who, he was a top 150 recruit out of high school. We get him from a really good prep school, and he's got great length and great ball skills. So, I just think overall you look at the class and, it's a really strong class. And, Tyler Andrews, again, I like Tyler Andrews. I like how fearless he is. So we got a great blend of guys. But these guys all understand, what it takes to win and the expectation at Eastern Kentucky and how we're going to win.
Where's the personality going to come from this year? Leland and Tayshaun carried a lot of that in the past couple of years. Where's your personality coming from this year?
That's it. Vince, I can't wait to figure that out, and that's the great thing. We got all the guys coming in June 15th or 16th, whatever that weekend is. So we'll dive into the things that we do and our process of building a great team to prepare them for the season. We do a lot of team building stuff. We'll take them to the lake. We'll play a baseball game, and we just do a lot of neat stuff to kind of figure out who they are and, let them get comfortable with each other and figure out who's going to be that personality. Because Leland Walker and Tayshaun were phenomenal. They were just, they brought so much energy into practice and every single day. And, we're going to miss them, and I'm proud of both of them, but we'll find that niche, and, it'll be exciting to figure out who that is.
Now, your first half of your season, or first part of your season, non-conference stuff, is not going to be played in your normal home court. I don't know. Have they announced yet where you guys are playing?
We really haven't yet. Okay. But, there's a good chance that we play at Berea College, and, we want to make it as easy as possible for our fans to get over there and watch us play. And, but the thing is, Vince, there won't be many home games. It'll be just that type of season. So it'll be, a non-conference, a really, really tough non-conference schedule where we're going to be on the road a lot. And, in the long term, it'll prepare us for conference play.
And you guys are going to get to open the newly renovated Coliseum there. Are you going to push that at all with your guys as far as, hey, we get to set the standard in this new version of this Coliseum?
Yeah, it's exciting because the guys in the past have paved the way for this opportunity, and just the leadership at Eastern Kentucky. And, it starts at the top. It starts with Dr. McFadden. We got a superstar president. That's what we got. He's got a great vision for the university, and, you look around campus, so many great things are happening. But it's exciting for our team coming in, and, it'll be a different type of non-conference, but they all understand what we're up against, and everybody's so excited. In January, we're going to open the arena, and it's going to be a new look and a new feel, and it's going to be really, really nice.
And you finally got rid of that dead weight in Matt Roan. I'm kidding, of course. We appreciate Matt and all that he did.
We're gonna miss him. He was critical for our success, and so we'll miss him.
Yeah, he's going to be missed for sure. But just like everything, there's always another day, and you go on to the next day and you take what you got and you go with it and make the best of it, of course, as well. Ryan, anything else for Coach Hamilton?
Yeah, one more question. How many assistant coaches do you have, and how did each of them help you?
I got 3 assistant coaches, and, I've been fortunate. I've had a phenomenal staff, and, I get to stand out in front, and I get a lot of credit. But those guys behind the scenes, how they do game day preps and game prep and player development, and all the time they spend with the guys watching film, building relationships. They're great problem solvers. I've been very, very blessed with a great, great staff. So, Mike Allen and Steve Lepore, they've been with me, Vince, since I was at Hargrave. I mean, so we've just been through a lot together. And, I added a new assistant coach. His name is Ron Jersa, and we'll be announcing that in the next couple of days, and which I'm excited about. He's a veteran coach. I actually played for Ron Jersa at Marshall. So yeah, it came full circle, which is exciting. And so, but I've been great. I've had a great staff, but it's not just the assistants, Ryan. We got a director of basketball operations that manages the daily operation of the program. I got a great video guy. He's our director of scouting, Jake Lorbach, and, Asa Duvall, is our director of player development. We've had the highest team GPA in school history in the fall. And in the summer, we had the highest team GPA in the summer in school history. So, there's a lot of moving pieces to this. And then, you talked about the strength and conditioning with John Mike, who's, he's an EKU legend. And so there's so many people that help us and impact us winning.
For sure. And Coach, you got the opportunity to go out to Vegas and do a coaches clinic, be a part of a coaches clinic here recently. And then you've got your upcoming camps this summer as well. Do you want to promote those things coming up?
Absolutely. Look, we pride ourselves in having the best basketball camp in the country. And we put a lot of time and effort into it. And it's really grown since we've got here over the years. And it's easy to find out information on it. All you got to go is to bigtime.camp. We have 2 sessions, 2 weeks in Richmond, 2 weeks in Georgetown. And, it's an exciting camp. It's, the kids have a blast. They get a bunch of prizes and giveaway items. So it's a lot of fun.
Awesome. Well, Coach, we always appreciate you. We're wrapping up the season this season. We'll get back out, hoping to come out and see you some this summer as well, and try to get to know some of these new guys before the season gets going. Also, but I hope you get some downtime. I know rest is not very often for coaches these days, but hope you get some downtime with your family, and good luck this summer as you're getting everybody in and getting them adjusted to what EKU basketball is all about. And he froze up just in time. So thankfully we survived it all the way until the end. Sorry, Coach. All right. That worked out just fine, though, because we were done. So that works out great. One more commercial. When we come back, we're talking postseason baseball with the officially the newest head coach in EKU, Walt Jones. We'll talk about that right after a quick word from All Around Roofing.
Does the exterior of your home need a facelift? All Around Roofing has you covered. All Around Roofing is a veteran-owned company servicing Madison County and Central Kentucky. From roof repairs and replacements to gutters, sidings, windows, soffits, chimney flashings, and so much more, All Around Roofing provides quality work and friendly service that will leave your house looking great. Go visit allaroundroofingky.com. That's allaroundroofingky.com for more information.
All right, welcome back into the Sports Stove Local Hour. We've had a jam-packed show, and we're not done yet. Up next is the head coach of EKU baseball, the one and only Walt Jones. Hey, Coach, how are you?
How's it going? I'm doing well.
It's going great. How's everything down in Florida?
It's good. It's good. We were able to. It's been a long day. I know personally, I was up at about 3:00 making sure that we checked all the boxes before we left, and I haven't been to sleep yet. We flew down this morning. We were able to get a nice workout in. And the guys just got done eating dinner just a little while ago, and they're kind of getting ready to kind of calm down for the night. So it's been a long day.
Well, it's great to have you on. We reached out about having you on right when the change took over, when Coach Pro had to step away, and that wasn't a great time for you, and so we understood, and we wanted to make sure we got you on before the season was done. Let's talk about that transition, though. You go from being kind of the lead guy, assistant, to being thrust right into action there. But I'll tell you what, Coach, the players absolutely love you, and they've all said the same thing about the transition, just going very smoothly, sounded like the same voice coming through. Nothing really changed much. I know that's probably not the way that you wanted to get the job, but how has that transition gone for you?
It's going well. It's going well because of the people that I am surrounded by. It's a great group of players, and what they've been able to do kind of speaks to that. And then the assistants, all of the support staff, and I mean, it really starts at the top with Dr. McFadden, and then trickling down to everyone inside the athletic department. They've been super supportive in the transition, and they've made this as I won't say easy, but it's not as difficult as it could have been. So it's been great. Just being with these guys to being able to help each other kind of get through it.
Definitely. Now you guys end the season, the regular season. Ron Franklin gets announced today, first team All ASUN, which is no surprise. He's been absolutely incredible this year. Tate Nunley brings in an all freshman nod. Bryce Travis and Max Williams get academic All ASUN as well. Let's start with the veterans on this team and guys like Ron, who've been around the program and been here since you've been here, or shortly after you got here, you recruited and brought in too. How proud are you of these guys? You got a large number of seniors this year.
Yeah, it's a group of 13 seniors, and we've needed every one of them to be able to do the things that we've been able to do this year. It's been tough treading. It started out with us going 2-17 to start the year. Like that was, that was tough. There's a lot of programs in this world that probably couldn't have overcome this. And then you sprinkle on top of that our head coach having to step away kind of mid-season, and our head coach also being our pitching coach, and it's a lot of adversity to overcome, and so you lean on guys that have been in the program for 4 and 5 years, or really 4 years, with Santi Peralta, Max Williams, and Bryce Travis. Those guys, they're that's a special, that we call them the Three Amigos. They're special to us because they were here when we showed up, and they decided to stick with us throughout the entire time, and that means something to us. But also with Ron and Connor Davis, DJ Sullivan, all of these guys, Miguel, all of them that have been through it for a couple of years on the mound with guys like Joe Clancy and he's a junior, but Isaac Milburn and Cam Calandros, and I'm missing some of them, but man. I hope that if I miss one of them, they know that I mean this when I say it. It took every single one of them to get to the point that we're at right now.
You guys go 14-16 in the ASUN, which at first, I know that's not what you were hoping to do, but when you start the year the way that it did, to be able to go 14-16 in the conference is good. And a lot of those games, there was at least a handful of those games that were really, really close that could have gone either way, of course, as well. I do want to talk, though, about your young guys, too, because your veterans carry the team and they lead the team. And I've watched it during the games. I've watched Ron Franklin go up to one of the freshmen, point something out to him as they're warming up to take their at-bat. I've watched them, pregame, postgame, all that kind of stuff. You've got some freshmen and Silas and Tate, Mari, Elijah. You've got other guys, young guys, too, that have stepped in and played important roles for you. Now, obviously, as much as you love the seniors, the reality is you need young guys too, because you need a team next year. And although you can bring in all new people, you'd probably rather not. So what are these young guys doing for you just to give you that encouragement for what is ahead, not only for what they've done this year, but what they can do in the coming years?
For sure. We always talk about it, the importance of having guys grow up in the program. And so we're watching it happen right now. And with the guys that you've mentioned, with the Tate Nunnallys and Mauricio and Silas behind the plate, and Elijah Underhill, a dual guy that's pitching and playing the outfield for us. Bradley Stewart, who spent most of the second half of the season pitching on Friday nights and growing and developing in that role. There's a lot of them, and it's important for those guys to get in there and to be able to grow and learn. And so, we've got some older guys, yes, that allow us to be able to put these guys in position and it not be too much for them. And so being able to have older guys to lean on as you're going through that as a youngster, it's important. It's critical. That's the only way that they'll be able to get to where they need to be. But, the future's bright. We played against Florida Gulf Coast a couple weeks ago down at their place, and I think they had 4 or 5 freshmen running around out there. We had 4 or 5 freshmen running around out there, and it's easy to see the future of both programs right there in front of you. So that's exciting for us.
It seems like these older guys that are taking the younger guys under their wing, it doesn't seem like they had to be pushed to do that. It seems like they naturally just went and did it, from what I'm hearing from the young guys. And I'm sure as a coach, to be able to sit there and watch these guys take the lead and not have to be told, hey, go help that guy out, but they actually just go do it. And maybe that's not the way it was done, but that's the way it appears from my angle.
No, it's happened pretty organically because we talk about it all the time. This won't be the first time you heard this. We've got the right guys. We've got the right type of people in our program. And when you've got the right type of people, things like that take care of themselves. It's like with the transition. And, I've been stretched a little thinner than I probably was before. And having guys like J.D. Davis and Bryant Bowen and Charlie Ludwig, Michael Schuler, and all of those guys being able to step up and be able to give these players the things that they need to continue to grow. I think it's happened on multiple levels, and it's fun to be a part of because, like I said, it's the right people, and that's what it's all about.
Ryan, I'm hogging the interview. What you got for Coach? What you got for Coach?
Hey, Coach, as a team that's been in a rut before and had to face a lot of adversity, what was some of the biggest adversity you had to face or the team had to face throughout the season, and how'd y'all overcome it?
2-17 was pretty tough. 2-17 was pretty tough. But what we were able to do is we took it one day at a time. And so instead of thinking about, trying to get it even and going, flipping it and going 17-3, that's impossible to look at it that way. You look at it as going 1-0, to get to 4-17 or to get to 3-17, and then you get to 4-17. And that's the way that we've tried to do this, is take it one day at a time, maximizing who we are as an individual and ultimately maximizing who we are as a team along the way. So that's been, that's probably the toughest. When Coach Pro had to step away, that was pretty tough on a lot of us. He's one of my best friends in the world, and he's been the leader of this organization for the last 4 years. The guys that are young in this program, he's been a part of the recruiting process, and he's been the guy that's kind of been at the top of this thing since they've been on campus. And so that was tough. But again, it's one day at a time. We're going to maximize this thing by taking it one day at a time, not getting ahead of ourselves, and trying to stack good days on top of each other.
And that one day at a time got you as one of the 8 teams in the ASUN tournament. And you guys come in, you're in Pool B, which means you got to win the pool to advance. You're in there with Jacksonville, who you'll play on tomorrow, and you just played them in a 3-game series. You got Central Arkansas, Lipscomb as well in this. Let's see here. So Jacksonville, you guys are 2-1 against them this season. Central Arkansas, you're 2-1 against them, and Lipscomb, you're 1-2. But that was one of those games was a 10-inning game where you lost by 1 run as well. Now, obviously, the playoffs, and especially in the ASUN, maybe it's everywhere. I don't remember it everywhere. It's an odd setup. Let's leave it at that. But you got to survive the pool in order to advance to the next thing. And starting out against Jacksonville, a team that you literally just saw. What does that do for you? Is that positive, or is that harder because you just saw them?
I think it's positive because there's some familiarity there. Our guys know where, defensively where we want to play guys. Our pitchers know how we want to attack guys. The guy that we'll face tomorrow, Richard Long, he's pretty tough, but we just saw him last Thursday, so we've got an idea of what that's like. And so I think the familiarity, I think it helps both teams. So, but I think it's a good thing. I think it allows you to settle in a little easier. With the pool that we're in Pool B, you were saying we're 5-4 against the teams that are inside of our pool. And I can think of the 2 pitches. Like, we're probably 2 pitches away from being 7-2. And so that's exciting. But at the end of the day, it's about taking it one day at a time, right? And be as good as we can be tomorrow. And we've got Nate Lawson going on the mound for us, and he's going to give us a chance. And we'll do what we got to do afterwards to do everything we can to win, to go 1-0 tomorrow.
So I was going to ask about this with Nate Lawson. Is it just his day in the schedule, or have you guys kind of changed the schedule now that you're heading into postseason play?
Well, once we clinched, so we played a doubleheader last Thursday. We were able to split the doubleheader. With the loss by a couple other teams on Saturday, that put us in. And so what we were able to do on Saturday, we were able to send Nate out to kind of like it be his bullpen day, which would set him up to be able to start tomorrow. Also, along with that, no one pitched more than 1 inning, and so we're able to come into it with a really fresh bullpen also. So we're able to do what we need to do tomorrow to hopefully go out and win a baseball game. And if we do so, we're able to have Wednesday as an off day to be able to do the same thing for Thursday. So it sets up well for us. We just need to go out and play well tomorrow.
Joe Clancy has really come on here towards the end of the season. He kind of became what we expected him to be this year, and having that veteran arm, some experience under his belt. And like I said here, he's ended the season really, really strong. So having a guy like that you can bring in and give you, several innings if you need it from him, how much confidence does that give you going into this postseason?
It gives you a lot of confidence. It's we know going into it that if we can get a lead somewhere by the 6th inning, we can go to Joe along with a couple other guys. We can go to Joe and he go 3 or 4 innings and finish a game for us. Or if we need to match up, we've got several guys that give us confidence if if we've got a lead late. And so that's been good. Yeah, like Joe, he's the ultimate competitor, man. He's a senior that wants the ball. He wants to pitch every day. He'll go out and throw 60 pitches today, and tomorrow he'll come by the office and say, "Coach, I'm good. I'm hot today." And so that's what you want. And so this week he's gonna get his money's worth this week.
Yeah.
But
I'm sure he'll be happy with that too.
Oh,
a guy that stood out this weekend in the Jacksonville series, and I didn't get to as many games as I was hoping to this year, but Hamilton Martinez came in and he pitched an inning on Thursday night that to me was just super impressive.
Yeah.
And I don't know much about Hamilton and anything like that. So maybe it was just whatever I saw was what I saw. But having those kind of guys, again, you've got depth. It's about putting it all together, all at the same time, right?
For sure. Hamilton's a guy that's kind of, he's been much improved in the second half of the season this year. He kind of got off to a slower start, which, our team kind of got off to a slower start. And so, but to see him kind of come out of the other end has been promising. Him along with several other guys. In order for us to win this thing, which it's hard to even think about because we try to stay in the moment and stay one day at a time. But in order for us to get to the finish line of this tournament, we're going to need all of them. And so Hamilton's one of many that we'll lean on to try to be able to piece this thing together as we move down the stretch. But it's go ahead.
I noticed his energy. That's what really stood out to me was his energy. I don't know. It got me a little pumped up.
No, we've got this team is a fun team, and it's good to we've been having to go through a lot. It's good to see them get to this version of themselves because it can be fun. It can be, and we're always talking about playing our best at the end, and I think we've set this thing up to where we've got a chance to do so.
How hard is it in the new role? All right, as head coach now, how hard is it to keep that focus? Whereas maybe before you were allowed to kind of wonder a little bit if you wanted to, but now you got to stay right there dialed in the entire time.
I mean, I like to think that I was doing it already, but it's if I'm not doing it now, it gets exposed. Yeah. And so no, that's a part of my growth personally to be able to be, the best coach that I can possibly be. That's a part of it. And these guys deserve for me to be on it at all times. These guys have come here from all over the country, really, but some from even out of the country. It's they deserve our best, and so I'm going to give it to them.
Yeah, I love it. Ryan, what else you got for Coach?
Coach, what has been the proudest moment of your team so far?
I think just being where we are right now. Because of the difficulties that we've had to go through to be able to persevere, to put ourselves in a position to where we're 5 games away from playing in the postseason, from playing in a regional. Nothing's guaranteed except this, the opportunity to go out and play every day. And they've taken advantage of the 56 opportunities that we've had to be able to finish the season strong and put ourselves in position to do what we ultimately want to do. And that's be playing on TV at the end of the year. And so the perseverance that they've shown, it speaks volumes to the type of young men that they are. It speaks volumes to the way that they were raised, and it speaks volumes to just the strength that's inside of this program. And so I'm so proud of the way that they have continued to move forward and continue to press forward. And I just can't wait to watch them play tomorrow.
Coach, first of all, again, thank you. Thank you for coming on. I know it's been a long day. I didn't know how long it was till you came on, but hopefully you get to some sleep here soon as well. I just want to let you know we've prayed for you this year as well. I know it's been just that transition. I know was not easy. But again, I hope it's encouraging to you. The way the guys have talked about you it's just been, I don't know, I guess confidence building. from an outside perspective, knowing, hey, these guys have full trust in what Coach Jones can do. And we loved watching this team throughout the season, and we're excited about what's ahead in the coming days. So good luck to you this week. Get some sleep tonight if you can, and hopefully you get some rest on Wednesday too. But get some sleep and enjoy yourself down there, and know that we're cheering you on from up here in Kentucky.
Thank you, guys, and so excited and honored to be able to represent this university and the region and the state of Kentucky down here. And we hope we can make you guys proud.
Well, you already have, Coach, but good luck to you this weekend again, man. And like I said, hopefully you get a little bit of rest as well. So have a good one, man.
All right, you too. Thank you.
Thanks. That's Walt Jones, EKU baseball head coach. And man, he was thrust into it, and he stepped right up to the plate and has hit it out of the park. If I can get any more corny than that, I'm not sure. But we appreciate Coach Jones. And again, everything that he's put in this year has been, unexpected in a lot of ways. And to step in and take over in the midst of, maybe some uncertainty and also just a friend, you got to be concerned about your friend as well. So good job, Coach Jones, and to this baseball team as well. Had a great time out this weekend with the family, watching some baseball games with these guys and the families that are up there supporting their kids. And the crowd can get fun there in baseball as well. So good job to all them. All right, Ryan. So here's what we're doing. We're wrapping down. We are not going to have any more shows for the month of May, and we won't have any shows for at least the first few weeks of June. We'll be back at some point this summer. We'll start position previews for football. Like I said, we're going to have Ray White on to talk about ticket stuff as well and different things about the university. I think Raymond's going to be a lot of fun to have on the show when we get him on as well. Ryan, you got some new faces to get to meet here in the next couple of weeks. What are you doing in this last couple of weeks or last good night? It's only like a week and a half now.
Yeah, I actually got a couple workouts in, so I'm going to be lifting a bunch, but I got a Florida trip planned, so I'm going to relax, hang out, because I not only want to make this last year the most, but I also want to enjoy every single bit of it. Like, I don't want to let anything slip past me this year, so I'm going to have as much fun as I can.
Have any of your former teammates submitted their resume for the athletic director position?
I do not know, actually. Yeah,
they probably got to get a few years under their belt, but I know we've talked with some guys in the past that, hey, that's kind of the future goal. And I thought, my goodness, maybe they could sneak in right now.
Right, could slide right in.
Yeah, why not, right? Why not? Well, we're gonna get out. I'm gonna get out this summer and catch up with you out on the field too, and see you a little bit out there, because I got to get to know some of these guys too. I got to figure out who's who out there. And you talked about it earlier, a lot of number changes, jersey changes. So I got to go figure out who everybody is before we get into the season, so I can look like I know what I'm talking about. But we're going to talk to position coaches as well as some of the players throughout the summer, and get everybody ready for football season, because really that's where, after this baseball postseason wraps up, that's all the attention goes to football for there. And I say that even though we had Coach Bazzani on, sorry, Coach, and volleyball. It's all coming down to football and volleyball in the coming months. And so we'll talk a lot about that throughout the summer, of course, as well. Ryan, anything you want to say or add before we close up the episode?
No, I think this was a great show for the finale. Three great guests, and this has been a lot of fun. I'm glad I got to show back up for the finale show. I'm glad I didn't miss out on all of them, and thank you very much for all these opportunities.
Oh man, it's you've made the show so much better, and having you on is awesome. And you're right, man. The guests tonight, of course, we wanted to go out with a bang for this season. We will be, again, all intention is to have another season next year. I don't see why we wouldn't. But if you want to be a part of the program, if you want to, if you have a business and you want to sponsor the program, now's the time to let us know. You can reach out on social media, or you can email, all kinds of different ways to get a hold of us. But just let us know. We'd be happy to give you the information that is needed there. I know for sure we've got one of our three sponsors for sure coming back next year. The other two are willing. But we're going to see what all goes on with that as well. So we'll see where it all breaks down to. But nonetheless, it's going to be a fun summer. I'm looking forward to a little bit of downtime, although this week I don't have it. I'm doing a podcast every night this week. But after this week, I get some downtime as well. And then our basketball practices start up in June too. So we're everything's getting ready to get going. But it's been a great year, a great school year. Congrats again to Ryan for graduating, along with a number of his friends and teammates as well. And we got a lot to look forward to in the coming year. By the next time we have a show, I'm assuming there will be an official athletic director, permanent athletic director in office. So we'll talk about that. Maybe even have him on our first show of the new year as well, him or her. And we'll see how that all shakes down, and a lot going on with rosters and things right now too, that we'll talk about once we get into the summer. So I want to say thank you to IPM Pest and Termite, to Righteous Felon Jerky, and All Around Roofing for their support of our program. Great companies. All of them have received my money over time. And so I trust them, and I would encourage you to trust them as well. I want to say thanks to KB, Kevin Britton. He got us all the interviews lined up tonight. All three of those guests were KB's help. And so we appreciate KB stepping in and helping out, and all the SIDs over the year that have helped us schedule guests. We've been putting together some information, and we have had just a ton of student athletes and coaches on the show over the last 9 months or so. So thank you to all the SIDs helping out with that. Even Rickson, who left us for Coastal Carolina. Thanks to him too. But follow us on social media at Sports Stove on Twitter and Instagram. We'll keep you updated as the new season will kick off later on this summer. We sure appreciate everyone tuning in each and every week as well. If you enjoyed the show tonight, go ahead and give us that thumbs up on YouTube. Subscribe if you're not subscribed, all that kind of good stuff as well. He's Ryan Jackson. That's right. Defensive tackle, captain, all the good stuff. He's on billboards now, folks. I'm Vince Stover. Thanks for tuning into this edition of the Sports Stove Local Hour. Until next season, we'll see you around the Sports Stove.